What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, baby. It's Saturday. The weekend is upon us. Weekend is upon us, man. May 21st. Yeah. Lost Ark Day. Lost Ark Day. Lost Ark's our weekend content. Yeah. We've been doing a lot of Valheiming for about the past week and loving it. Loving it. Yesterday was a bit brutal, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm loving the game. But we're going to get into our Lost Ark weekend content. Might be starting our next alt today, or our first alt character, actually, with the release of the new character. Hey, Sack. Yeah, it wouldn't work too well, man. It wouldn't work too well. Sorry. Yeah, it wouldn't work too well, buddy. Sorry, man. Unfortunately. Yeah, sorry, buddy. It's good to see you, though, man. It's good to see you. I hope that you had a good day yesterday doing the beer garden and everything, man. Um, so let's do what we do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I might be able to get in there later today after the stream if you need to work on getting some stuff moved over or whatever. Beer garden was packed. Right on, dude. Did you have a good time, though? Yeah, I might be able to log in there after the stream today or something if you need to do a little bit of work. Just, we'll see. Okay, all right. Let's do what we do. Let's hop into our news segment, all right? And we will see what we can find as far as current gaming industry news, video game industry news, and stuff that maybe we haven't hit on previously in other segments, okay? And then we'll hop into our Lost Ark segment for today. Cool. Let me get this pulled up. Again, I hope everybody's weekend's going very well. Happy Saturday. All right, let's go. Let me get my camera out of the way a little bit. Perfect. Cool. Uh, yeah. Actually, I think it was Goldfish shared some images of like some kitchen type areas that they had been toying around with in the Discord, in the main channel of the Discord. They threw them in there. Pretty cool. Yeah, and Varia and Pinky have some really neat stuff going on, man. Yeah, really gets the wheels turning up there for kinds of things that you can get done. Right? It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back one second. What was this? Jeff Keighley teases what's to come at Summer Games Fest. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Good morning, gamer. What's up, buddy? How are you, man? We saw this yesterday. It's pretty wild. I wonder if we'll find anything out about what happens with the situation moving forward, as if in regards to whether the company or boss was in violation of privacy rights here for the worker. I don't know. We'll see. Norman Reedus confirms Death Stranding sequel. You just meh this morning, man. I'm sorry. We already hit on Bungie's very outspoken about their views, values, beliefs that are instilled within their corporation and how they feel about things. They're very outspoken about it. And we've already hit on this, so if you're interested, check out the previous news segments. It'll be in there somewhere. Again, Borderlands 3 is free on Epic right now, along with Epic's big summer game sale. So, I don't know. There have been a lot of free games, for instance, like XCOM 2, that get released just like Borderlands 3 that get put out there as free options of games to grab on Epic, and but they don't come with the DLC. But right now might be the time to get some of those DLC if you've gotten some of their other free games. just because you get a 25% off coupon on anything you buy right now. I think it might be the first purchase of Summer Games, their Summer Games sales. So if you have some of those games you've gotten for free and you're interested in some of the DLC, now might be the time to grab some of that stuff. But definitely go grab Borderlands 3. Base game is free right now on Epic, so go grab that. We've already got this pulled up. We already saw this. Saudi's oil company is now the most valuable company in the world. All right, here's another one. Video game studios speaking out on abortion extremism. We'll pull that up real quick because, I mean, it's pertinent. It has to do with the gaming industry. Studios speaking out on some of the more relevant topics going on across the world right now. Things like that. Here are all the pressers filling the vacuum left by E3's shambling zombie corpse. All right, here's one of the things that you're not taking into consideration, though. I think, gamer. Okay. There's also a huge difference between just gaming on a gaming laptop and having a legit desktop setup with multiple monitors and you know, it's a different experience than gaming on a laptop. I will tell you that for sure. Okay, but you would not be the only person ever to say that they preferred gaming on console over PC. Look, that's something. Here's the thing, man. This is what you have to understand. This is the way it goes across all areas and aspects of competing thing that people turn into a competing thing, whether it be computer processors in regards to AMD or Intel's better, or consoles specifically for gaming, where it's like Nintendo or PlayStation or Xbox is better. You know what I mean? A lot of it's just personal preference. I mean, I think the thing is that's why like I don't. It's just people have their preferences, right? I prefer PC, but I do think there's something to be said for being able to experience what PC gaming offers outside of just having a laptop. You know, it is a much more, in my opinion, immersive, better experience. I don't like gaming on a laptop. I don't like it. I don't like it. I do it when I have to. I don't like doing it. I like having my setup. It's a different kind of experience than just using a laptop. I'll say that. For sure. But that's the way it goes, man. Um, again, here's the thing, though. You're talking about you're leaving out the other side of that as well, right? There are plenty of people that say console is the best gaming platform, right? So, um, just like you're talking about, there are people that, and that's what I was getting at. I mean, you're always going to have those people that go, you know, because they're fans of it, right? Yeah, just because they're fans. I don't look at things that way. I don't look at things that way. I think it's kind of ridiculous to be very closed minded about um, people having different opinions of stuff, you know, and being like, no, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. This is better, you know. Everybody's got preferences, man. That's just the way it is. We're different, and that's fine. That's fine. Um, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there are a lot of people. I mean, again, people do that from each side of you know, competitive things within all forms of business and consumerism and things like that. You know, so I don't know. Yeah, there's two sides to each of that kind of conversation, but I respect it, man. I respect it. Again, I mean, everybody knows that I'm primarily a PC gamer. I enjoy PC. I always have from a very young age. But I don't dislike console. It's just my preference. We got this pulled up. we'll see what all. This might be a more comprehensive list than what we already had about what to expect for all the showcases coming. Um, in regards to E3 not happening, right? So we'll see. Japanese developer of Suikoden video game is back with a new RPG. Let's take a look at this. We talked about this yesterday. If you're interested, if you play, or if you are interested in Pokemon Go, and you also have an Amazon Prime account, then you can actually get some free goodies right now through Amazon Prime Gaming for Pokemon Go. If you're interested, if you play, just be aware. We hit on it yesterday. If you want a better look at it, there's an article yesterday we went across. So check out yesterday's news segment on YouTube if you're interested. A lot of this stuff, kind of stuff we come across, is regarding like gambling types of games and stuff, like actual going and playing on like gambling machines. We get a lot of that in these segments of the searches that we do. I don't cover those. That's not what I'm looking for as far as gaming. Yeah, we've already talked about TikTok as well. TikTok is pivoting just like many other big entertainment platforms and companies are trying to get into gaming. There's a lot of money to be made. It'll be interesting to see how many are able to do it successfully, though. That's what I'm interested in. I don't think this is an easy industry to get into and compete at a high level. As a matter of fact, I think it's an industry that is very easy to get wrecked in if you don't know what you're doing. So we'll see how it goes for some of these like Netflix and TikTok, and Apple's apparently trying to make a new console to compete with like PlayStation and Microsoft's Xbox, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Battle passes have ruined multiplayer gaming for me. We'll take a look at that. Rockstar Games may be working on two new Red Dead Redemption titles. Okay. Even though that look, Rockstar Games gets constantly torn up by the community about not ever providing any like substantial content, update content to Red Dead Online. They're always getting wrecked about it. Social media, the gaming community, gamer community is just always up in arms about the fact they never come out with anything substantial for Red Dead Online. And but there's always stuff for GT5, right? Let's change this. Hold on. Yeah, we've got that pulled up. We read this yesterday. Oh, we read this a couple of days ago. This is Outer Wilds. Looks like a really cool experience. I would like to play it at some point. Oh wow. Why Serge Tankian had to stop playing video games. I'm gonna read this. This is one of the lead singers of System of a Down. If it depends on how you look at it, but I want to read this. I love System of a Down. We're gonna take a look at that. That's funny. Yeah, yeah, psych. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we've talked about again the there's like articles about increased cognitive functioning within kids. It's across humans. It's just humans. It doesn't matter age. I mean, obviously, if it's an adult oriented game that a kid is not going to be able to really understand what's going on, it's not going to help very much. But games across the board, especially like games that make you think strategically and things like that, definitely increase cognitive functioning in humans, from kids all the way up to elderly people. It's been proven. Lots of research out there on it. We hit on this. That was a bit of a weird article. Yeah, TikTok into gaming. We know there are a lot of educational institutions that are incorporating like esports teams and stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, last page here. Let's see what we got. I'll pull this up real quick. We haven't really talked. We haven't seen a Netflix article in a while that was worth diving into. Um, but we're already. I'll probably just skim this article and see if there's anything pertinent to pull out of it that we don't already know. Fact of the matter is, Netflix's stock has been dropping for a while. Their subscriber base is dwindling. Um, we already know that they are pivoting hard into gaming. They've already stated they're planning on having 50 mobile games by the end of the year. They are currently releasing Exploding Kittens mobile game. That's the one they're promoting a lot right now. Net flops. That's what it should. Net flops is what I should have said. But and along with the Exploding Kittens mobile game, right? They're releasing a what I understand to be an adult, a mature content kind of cartoon to coincide with it, series, cartoon series, animated series, and but again, I don't think that getting into the gaming industry is not necessarily an easy thing to do. Having a name to build off of and capital to utilize like Netflix does definitely makes it easier, but that doesn't mean you're going to be successful, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, Soldier, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Happy weekend, my friend. Happy Saturday. What's up with you, buddy? So we'll see what that has to say. Did I pull it up? I didn't even pull it up. There we go. Yeah. All right. We talked about the diversity space tool. That's really weird. We already hit on that a few days ago. Saw this yesterday. New Justice League game revealed. If you're interested, go check out yesterday's news segment on YouTube. There wasn't a ton of information about it yet. Just apparently a small teaser that had all these like chibi kind of Justice League characters in it. 3-day weekend. Let's go, buddy. What are you getting up to, man? We've talked about a lot of this kind of stuff too, which is amazing. Yeah. Helping anybody access the world we love, you know, that's great. And there are a lot of different peripherals, controllers, you name it, things that are allowing people, especially with disabilities, to better enjoy or access the world that we love, which is gaming. And that's incredible. That's great. Okay, I've also look PlayStation. We've talked about this previously as well. Um, PlayStation has released a glossary of video game terms, a dictionary of video game terms, if you will. And I've got a link to it. If anybody's interested, I'll throw it in chat so you guys can take a look. Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Most of them you'll probably be familiar with, but for anybody that's like not familiar with the gaming world and or maybe comes across a term they're not necessarily familiar with that seems like it would be a gaming term, PlayStation's done a pretty good job. Well, this is the problem, soldier. This is, I mean, they're trying to save themselves. Tinwin, what's up? Oh, cool, Tinwin. Thanks, buddy. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Great, dude. Great, great, great. Thank you. Thank you. How are you feeling about the game? Have you played? How many hours do you have in it now? I was waiting to hear back from you, man, about what you thought about V Rising. Um, so here's the thing, soldier. It's not just Netflix, okay? There are, I mean, TikTok's pivoting. This is the thing. We're not going to be able to help it, okay? There are all kinds of different companies and platforms in the entertainment industry, whether it be social media, streaming movies, you name it, right? Making movies. They're pivoting into gaming because it's a very lucrative industry, right? Um, I mean, this is the way I feel about it. Is it becoming a very populated industry? is that potentially going to result in a lot of worthless, maybe games, that we're not going to be interested in playing? Maybe. But will it also potentially create maybe a good new developer that could release some exciting games for us to play? It could. It could. So there's the possibility there. The fact of the matter is, we're not going to be able to help it, right? TikTok's pivoting. Apple's pivoting into creating their own console, apparently. We've got Netflix pivoting into gaming as well, I agree. I agree, but I don't see that happening. Not in the near future. Not in the near future. It's gone down a little bit because the pandemic has kind of settled. We're managing that better. People aren't staying at home as much anymore. But there's no doubt that there's just an absolute insane amount of money in the gaming industry, and it's just becoming more and more prevalent as a pastime form of entertainment for people, right? So I think we just have to accept the fact that this is the way it is. A lot of platforms, a lot of companies that are already in the entertainment industry are pivoting to gaming because it is like the hype now. Oh yeah, exactly what I was just saying, Tinwin. That's where it's at. That's where it's at, right? It's insane the amount of money, and it's I mean, we're going to hit on this in the Netflix article. We've already hit on this a lot, and I was just talking about it. There's a lot of these streaming services and stuff that now that platform, streaming services, as far as TV shows and movies, is very, very highly populated as well now, right? So Netflix is seeing that affect them, right? They're losing subscriber base. They're trying to find something else in the entertainment industry that they can pivot into to try to save their company. Where else is anybody going to look right now? Gaming's the top, man. Gaming's the top. So, I mean, I hear you, but there's nothing we're going to be able to do to stop it, right? And I keep saying this. It's not an easy industry to get into and to maintain a business in. It's it depends on how good of games you create for us as players. If we don't enjoy your stuff, you're gonna die. That company is gonna die in it will not succeed, right? And building upon having credibility as like a well-known name and having extra capital to push into the gaming venture initially helps a lot. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful though, right? Pharmaceuticals. Oh, yeah. Don't even go there. Good night. Uh, yeah, I mean, Tinwin, I don't disagree with that crash sentiment. Um, there are so many terrible devs out there that in my opinion, and a lot of them used to be decent. A lot of them used to be decent, but they've just turned into these money hungry juggernauts that don't care about anything but money. That's it, just money, And I would not mind seeing a lot of those companies die off and end up losing IPs to better companies. But I don't know, man. It is what it is, and we just have to kind of deal with it. I am not expecting much from a company like Netflix. I'm not expecting much from a company like TikTok. But it is a very, very lucrative industry. So everybody's trying to get in it. Yeah, yeah. Um, Tinwin, the you still loving V Rising? How many hours do you have in it at this point, man? We'll stop there. We'll go with all these articles that we have right now. Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. V Rising's good. 30, yeah, pushing 40 hours. Sick, dude. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like really good? Cool, man. Yeah, I'll take a look at your video. I'll take a look at your video. Uh, how long is the video? How long is it? Oh, it's just a minute? Yo, I'll pull it up at the end of the segment. I'll pull it up at the end of the segment. We'll just watch it. We'll watch it real quick. We'll watch it real quick before I start playing Lost Ark. How about that? Are you cool with that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm very interested in that. You don't mind me sharing? I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right before we start playing Lost Ark. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. The game looks really neat, man. It looks really neat. Yeah, I'm glad you're loving it too, man. That's great. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a new game out. I'll pull it up on Steam real quick called V Rising. It's kind of it's very vampire, kind of horror esque, a bit of Valheim. What else would you throw in there, Tinwin? Uh, so it's early access right now, $20, but it's got very positive, over 7,000 reviews. PvP combat's genuinely great. Cool. Yeah, ARPG Diablo style. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Obviously, it's ARPG, but yeah, kind of like a Diablo Valheim kind of mashup a little bit, maybe. I think you said that as well earlier. Spells and abilities are fantastic. Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about the difference between it and Valheim. Valheim is very basic, like action, right? You don't have spells, you don't have abilities. Well, you have like one ability you can use at a time, but it's just usually like a buff. It's not like a an actual combat ability or anything. Whereas V Rising definitely looks like they've got a very nice fleshed out like ability system and stuff to be able to use, or at least somewhat. I haven't seen much about it. But this is the title right here. This is V Rising. Counters, blocking, range attacking, dashing, illusions, shape shifting, etc. Really deep sick, man. Good, 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 good. I'm glad you're loving it, man. I want to try it out pretty soon. It looks pretty neat. Looks pretty neat. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for vampires. I like vampires, and this would be very cool to play around like this. I think, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they show off a lot of the abilities during this trailer. It's pretty neat. It definitely has that, like, it's got a bit of the same Valheim art style to it, right? I think a little bit actually more polished a little bit, but it definitely has a bit of that Valheim look. Pretty cool. Not even half of them. Right on, man. Yeah, that's cool, man. I was waiting for you to come back in and let us know how you were still enjoying it after that first day. So this is what we're talking about right here. Looks like a pretty cool game. Thanks, Timwin. Thanks, buddy. So let's get into these news articles. That way we can move into Lost Ark today. Yeah. Jeff Keighley teases what's to come at Summer Games Fest. 23 different abilities, 5 different blocking counter abilities, 5 dash, 10 different alts. Wow. Nice, man. Nice. So, I don't know. I'm just going to have to get into it. I'm going to have to get into it and play it, man, and see what I think. See what I think. Yeah, it looks pretty neat. It looks pretty neat. And already, what it just came out like a few days ago, right? That's what it was, a few days ago now. And already over 7,000 reviews on Steam. That's pretty good. Yeah. It seems like people are really enjoying it. So, and I'm glad you are, man. That's great. Yeah, and I mean, so everybody's aware if you are interested in the game, usually when games are in early access, they don't cost quite as much as they will on full release, especially if they start doing well. And it looks like V Rising's doing well. So, it doesn't always happen, but it it definitely has as well. If a game is doing very well, people are enjoying the game a lot. When it comes out of early access, quite often you'll see the price increase. It could not happen, but if you are interested, it might be better to get in on it right now before the full release, just to grab it at 20. in case there would be an increase when the game full releases, which we have no idea when that will be, I don't think, at this point. Summer Game Fest is around the corner. Media entrepreneur Jeff Keighley hints at a month of news starting on June 9th. First couple of weeks of June are going to be a good time for gamers. As always, Keighley says. The host of the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest said people might look back at June as an exciting start to the year's game release news, which has been on the quieter side when it comes to big titles. When asked whether that means people can expect major game announcements, Keighley demurred. June is definitely a good time for people to ramp up, get people excited about things coming in the future. So yes, there will be some good announcements. There'll be good, meaningful updates on games. Keighley said, adding that, for example, in 2021, Summer Game Fest showed off gameplay of Elden Ring. I remember everybody freaking out about that. A previously announced game that still drew a lot of interest. Will you get everything you want? No, but I think there will be some good stuff this year. The 2022 Gaming News event is mostly digital, though it will feature an in-person component. IMAX movie theaters will air the Summer Game Fest in the US, Canada, and United Kingdom starting on June 9th, live from Los Angeles. Viewers can tune into the exact same show on Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon, whose founder, Bezos, owns the Washington Post. I like that they threw that in there. Because you see what site we're on right now, right? You see what site we're on, right? While individual game companies will do their own events as they have in past years, Keighley said he plans to organize things so they don't heavily overlap. In another major gaming showcase, Xbox will hold its live-streamed event on June 12th. In light of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Keighley said he has been in conversations with several Ukrainian studios whose game titles, such as GSC Game World's Stalker, have been impacted. There have been a number of teams, honestly, that we were talking with about content for our show that are in Ukraine, and they've had to relocate and can't finish their trailer, can't finish their game because they're in the middle of a situation. A terrible situation, Keighley said. We're conscious of those games and actively trying to think about what's the right way to recognize some of those teams and the hardships they've been through. Keighley made the headlines of 2020 when he announced he was skipping E3 for the first time in 25 years, saying the event needed to evolve. This year's Summer Games Fest will take place in the backdrop of another canceled E3, just as it did in 2020. You'll find no bigger fan than me of what E3 represented to the industry, and I went to it for 25 years, Keighley said. I still think E3 needs to figure out its place in this new digital global landscape. Gaming companies have figured out there are lots of great ways to program directly to fans. With Summer Games Fest, we're very cognizant of that. We're not just trying to be an E3 replacement. We're doing something very different and approaching it as a free digital-first celebration of games. The great thing is we can build it from the ground into something completely new. We don't have the baggage and legacy of trying to sell booths to people or hotel rooms. Keighley told the Post last December that the other event he hosts, the Game Awards, would take a thoughtful, measured approach towards non-fungible tokens. For this year's Summer Game Fest, Keighley similarly said he had no plans to have anything NFT or blockchain related. Thank God. Some people are like, oh, Jeff, I see you following an NFT account on Twitter. And it's like, I'm interested to learn about that stuff. But I've yet to see anything that really crosses over to the content that would be accretive to the experience. Look, if I see a gamer experience that I think is really going to be compelling and interesting and leverages those technologies in a meaningful way, we'll of course look at it, Keighley said. As for whether Activision Blizzard, a company facing multiple lawsuits and government investigations, will be present at Summer Games Fest, Keighley said the situation was evolving. Activision Blizzard did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Over the past few years, Activision Blizzard has not been a part of hardly any of this because they're trying to stay out of the spotlight. In the back of our minds, obviously, it is the zeitgeist of what's going on at both of these companies, but also in the community, he said. Everyone's opinions continue to evolve among all these topics, so it's hard to put a pin in something and say, hey, this is exactly how we're going to treat this throughout the entire year. Another hotly discussed industry topic is unionization. Yes. When asked whether organizing labor would impact Summer Games Fest, Keighley said, trying to make our show is ultimately to support creators of games. Let them showcase their work. I hope we empower game creators through our shows to reach audiences and feel like they can reach those audiences directly. Okay. Well, it didn't really show anything. Look here. I'll go ahead and pull this up. This is a pretty nice comprehensive list of a lot of the showcases you will find coming up through June, July, and August. Most of them are at the like end of the first week, or basically like the second week of June. But that list I just put in chat, that link I put in chat will give you a list. There are a few already announced for July, a couple more I think in August, but most of it's in June. So if you're interested in catching a lot of these showcases, take a look at that link, okay? Norman Reedus confirms Death Stranding sequel. We just started the second one. Nice. I love it. Death Stranding is a pretty popular video game. You may have heard of it before, and pretty good too. Slow, weird, and indulgent, but a true original, and a journey that will linger in your mind long after it's over. We said in our 85% review of the original PC release. The expanded definitive director's cut arrived earlier this year. And now, as revealed by star Norman Reedus in a Leo interview, it seems that a sequel is in development. We just started the second one, Reedus says in response to a question about his work on Death Stranding. It's pretty blunt and hard to misread, but just in case there's doubt, he repeats the claim a second time, but not before retelling the story of how he came to meet Death Stranding director Hideo Kojima in the first place. Guillermo del Toro, who gave me my first movie, I love some of his movies, gave me my first movie, called me up and said, "Hey, there's a guy named Hideo Kojima. He's going to call you. Just say yes," Reedus said. And I go, "What do you mean, just say yes?" He goes, "Stop being an a-hole. Just say yes." Then I was in San Diego, and Hideo came with a big group of people. He's from Tokyo. Showed me what he was working on, a game called Silent Hill. I was blown away by what he was showing me, and I was like, yes, let's do this. It's not Miss Pac-Man. It's so realistic. It's so futuristic, so complicated and beautiful, and I was completely blown away. Then the kicker. Took me maybe 2 or 3 years to finish all the mocap sessions and everything. It takes a lot of work. Then the game came out, and it just won all these awards, and it was a huge thing, so we just started part 2 of that. It's not surprising that a Death Stranding sequel would happen, given the success of the first. In fact, Reedus hinted at the possibility way back in 2020, but it is a little unusual that its existence would be revealed in such a casual, off-the-cuff. "Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing another one" comment in an interview that otherwise has nothing at all to do with video games. Makes me wonder if Norman is going to be getting another phone call from Hideo Kojima in the very near future. That's kind of what I was wondering as well. I've reached out to Kojima Productions and Death Stranding publisher 505 Games for comment, and will update if I receive a reply. Yeah, I mean, quite often, there's like non-disclosure agreements and stuff. If you're working on games that aren't ready to be leaked or have information released yet, they kind of will have you on a non-disclosure to prevent that kind of thing from happening, or else you can get like sued. I don't know, but I would say probably with Norman here, if he wasn't supposed to be talking about it, I doubt he would have brought it up twice, to be honest. Just to be really blunt and open about that fact, twice in an interview, I could see maybe a slip to begin with, but to bring it back up, just real, nonchalant about it, like, it seems like it's probably fine. Video game studios are speaking out on abortion. All right, one second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I apologize. Some top American game studios are taking stands on abortion, trans rights, and the industry's own responsibility regarding racism and extremism. Why it matters. It's a notable shift in a controversy averse industry, and one that is shocking some players not used to the makers of the games they play taking a position on volatile political and social topics. Yeah, Bungie has taken a lot of the brunt. They've kind of led the way on some of these more recent controversial topics going on in the world, and they've made it very well known where they stand on these issues, and even to the point of saying, so Sony has agreed to buy Bungie, right? Sony traditionally is very tight-lipped on issues like this. And Bungie's already come out and said, Sony won't be able to hush us up. You know, we saw this in a recent news article. Two studios went public this week, with a third reportedly taking a quieter route. On Tuesday, Washington-based Destiny 2 maker Bungie Studios and its Black at Bungie worker group posted a reaction to the weekend's racist mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. The studio had recently weighed in on the Supreme Court's draft decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Yeah. Bungie acknowledged that people far too often are radicalized via online platforms and called for game makers themselves included to do more to examine their own platforms and invest in practices to combat bigotry in all of its manifestations. We talked about this. We saw that specifically regarding what they this like quote and everything. I think it was a day or two ago. So there's part of the news segment from a day or two ago where we actually hit on all of that regarding Bungie. On Wednesday, Texas headquartered studio Certain Affinity posted a letter to employees from CEO Max Hoberman condemning intrusions on the rights and dignity of transgender youth and the attack on abortion rights from the potential ruling on Roe v. Wade. Saul followed a Monday report in the Washington Post that California-based Insomniac, makers of hit Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank games, had quietly and successfully pressed its owners at Sony to match a $50,000 donation to a group that helps economically disadvantaged women get abortions. What they're saying: the overall response has been incredibly positive, Hoberman tells Axios, citing hundreds of supportive replies after he posted his letter publicly. A half dozen people told him that businesses should stay out of politics. He said, "The fact of the matter is that some politicians aren't staying out of our business," Hoberman says. "They are creating a hostile environment in states that we know and love and live in. This in turn is affecting the mental health and well-being of large swaths of our staff and is outright hurting our business in tangible ways, such as employees leaving the states and difficulties recruiting to these states." Certain Affinity has about 175 employees in Texas. It says it will pay for reasonable relocation expenses for employees who want to move out of state due to abortion regulations. The studio is not joining other companies that now promise financial assistance to workers who need to travel to get an abortion. Hoberman says doing so could run afoul of local law. Yeah, it's a kind of a very delicate situation on some of these laws that have come out and the way the companies have to address taking care of their employees if they're committed to doing that, and getting them ways to circumvent these laws that have come out in these states. I have not, gamer. Nope, my kids have. I have dabbled, like a small amount. My kids enjoy Minecraft. Yeah, they never got like super into it, but they enjoy it. They play it from time to time. Yeah. What about you, buddy? In 2020, even the biggest ones like Nintendo and PlayStation expressed support for Black Lives Matter. But taking a stand against racism is less controversial than taking one about abortion. Yeah, we already hit on this as well. There have been a lot of big major social issues like Black Lives Matter that a lot of studios were like really quick to come out. And that's the thing we all also talked about, is how committed are these industries to actually supporting these movements, right? As opposed to just putting a nice face out there like they are in support of them just to make themselves look good, right? It's hard to tell sometimes. The Post says Insomniac and Sony won't make their pledges public. That follows a Bloomberg report from last week that cited PlayStation boss Jim Ryan urging his workers to respect differences of opinion on abortion. Yes. And that's what we would do in this community as well, right? Yep, absolutely, Tinwin. Yes, you're right. There's a relaxing time drainer of a game. It is? Yeah. Well, it depends on how you're playing it. If you're speedrunning it, there's a huge community around speedrunning Minecraft, gamer, if you didn't know that. There's a lot of really cool videos out there of people speedrunning the game. Yo, Mr. Overthinker, what's up, buddy? And, yeah, if you're just playing it for fun and everything, yeah, it's a very cool game. What are we talking about today? Well, right now we're in the news segment regarding some of the video game companies that have made it very public how they feel about certain, you know, controversial, social, controversial kinds of things going on in the world right now. And specifically like Bungie coming out and expressing their values and in regards to the Roe versus Wade stuff, things like that. So that's what we're hitting on right now. Yeah, yeah. How you doing, Overthinker? Happy Saturday, guys. Yeah. So here's the thing. I mean, that's what our community is too, right? We would definitely respect other people's views and beliefs, and we don't have to always believe the same thing. As long as the main thing is being civil, right? We're not always going to agree. We're not always going to believe the same thing. That's just being human, right? Um, Here's the thing that's rough though, is like, in my opinion, this is a situation that is infringing on people's rights. Yeah, and I saw a really good video where it was like a bit of comedy mixed in with, really addressing this in a way that feels like it should be addressed, where it was like, okay, so it's not going to be regulated federally anymore, and this is specifically something going on in the U.S. right now, right? Um, Doing all right for now. Why is that for now thrown in there, dude? What's going on? Um, and it was like, well, instead of letting the state decide, why don't we just take it down? Because, it goes like federal, then state, right? And they're like, well, instead of state, why don't we just take it down to like city kind of stuff and, or like counties, because states are made up of counties. And it was like, well, and then instead of doing that, we'll just do it by like kind of cities or regions, and instead of that, how about we just take it down and make it to where it's like, households have to agree on what issues like abortion, what the rules will be, and better yet, how about we just take it down to how each individual decides to feel and act upon how they feel about that issue, right? And look, that doesn't. And I know there are a lot of people who are like, well, then you're saying turn that into, they'll turn that sentiment into something like other kinds of issues that don't necessarily work the same way, right? Because we are talking about something that's like a human rights kind of issue here, and it is. I have to say it's very odd to me, and it's odd to me that this is something that I feel should be an individual's right to address, and a state is regulating it. States are regulating what people are able to do. So, um, and that, I mean, we've always had laws and stuff that tell us what we can and cannot do, but when it comes to somebody's own body and everything, I don't know. To me, it feels like, and I'm not speaking on my view necessarily on whether I feel like it's right or wrong. That's not what this is about. It's about like a human rights issue, I think. If this kind of thing, what I'm worried about here is we get to a point where rights are being regulated, right? Our rights are being regulated, what we can and cannot do as a personal thing. We are setting ourselves up for failure in the future. We're telling these overarching agencies that they can absolutely manage what we can and cannot do. And that's a very, very dangerous line to tread. We've always had laws in order to prevent like anarchy and stuff. Not that all laws are good, right? There are a lot of wonky laws out there. Yo, Devea, how are you, my friend? But this is one of those situations where I feel like we're setting ourselves up for failure if we allow agencies to really start regulating what our rights are as personal beings for healthcare, things like that. humans, individual humans for healthcare and stuff, it's a very, very bad way to start trending, in my opinion. I'm going to stop there. This is not a political platform, okay? That's why I don't talk about really, my stance on a lot of stuff when it comes to whether I feel like things are right or wrong or anything like that. You're great? Good, Devea. Wait, you're Grar. What's Grar? Because I don't want this to be a political platform. That's not what this is. This is a place where we can all come, feel accepted, whether we believe the same thing or not. We can, it's about being civil, welcoming, inclusive, non-judgmental on things, but I do feel like this is infringing on people's rights, for sure. And the reason we got into it is because there are gaming companies that are taking a stance on these kinds of issues, right? I'll move on. Sorry for ranting. I apologize. Let's get on to something else. Well, yeah, and that's why I'm very careful about it, Mr. Overthinker. I'm very careful about it. Yeah. Yeah. And again, I try not to get into, my own personal beliefs on, whether it's right or wrong or anything like that. But I definitely feel like we are getting into a realm here where people are definitely being infringed upon with their rights. And that is only going to continue if we don't put a stop to it. Yeah, 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 a little bit. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, look, the thing is, it's a very important topic right now, right? Especially for people living in the States, in the U.S. It's a very important topic, and it's hard to tread that line between trying to stay out of the political side of it. But we come across these articles all the time right now because there are gaming companies that are taking stances regarding these important issues, right? These controversial, very important issues in the world. There are gaming companies that are taking a stance. And so inherently, because we do gaming news, we're going to end up speaking about it to an extent, right? My big thing is respecting how people feel, right? You don't have to agree. That's what this community is about. You don't necessarily have to agree. Just respect each other. We can be civil about that. That's what it's about, right? We're not going to agree. We're not going to have the same thoughts and beliefs and views all the time. That's the way it is. Here are all the pressers filling the vacuum left by E3 shambling zombie corpse. Great. DeVay, good. I'm glad, DeVay. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. E3 hey, more like E0. I saw it come up right next to me, yeah. What was it the other day? I think it was Mamzelle was in here. The other day Mamzelle was in here and I think spammed like a smiley face or like a laughing emote. And it came up like right over my face on the camera. It was pretty great. I think I tried to clip it. I need to go back and see if I can grab it. I take like, I'll usually go about 3 or 4 weeks before I go back and really start pulling all my videos and clips and stuff out of Twitch. I do it about once or twice a month, but I need to go see if I can find it. I'm due to get back in there and get it done pretty quick. It was pretty funny. Okay, we all know E3 is not happening, right? But there are plenty of showcases taking its place. Thanks, Devay. Yes, for the second time in 3 years, the Entertainment Software Association has called off its flagship event. In 2020, event organizers declined to host an E3, citing the COVID pandemic. Last year it returned, but it was a purely digital charade. Rumors around E3 2022's cancellation swirled as early as January, and the ESA officially called off the event in the spring, saying it would return next year. We'll see about that. I have doubts. I'm going to be honest. I have doubts. I have doubts E3 is going to continue being at least what it used to be. I think that it's kind of falling out. The show must go on. In fact, without an E3 to suck up all the oxygen in the room, the roadmap for video game buzz is looking a lot like 2020's. A series of desperate conferences sprinkled throughout the summer. Yay. Anyway, here's the schedule of press conferences planned for summer 2022, which we'll update accordingly as more companies announce their not E3 plans. Um, yeah, Summer Game Fest kicks it off June 9th. Like I already threw an article in chat. I'll throw this one in here too. I'm not going to read all this. We've already kind of hit on a lot of this. I'll throw both the links back in chat again. Look, this article specifically, and it is going to show. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Summer Games Fest, date and time. Dates and times for Summer Game Fest, Guerrilla Collective, Wholesome Direct, Future Games Show, Xbox and Bethesda's, PC Gaming Show, Overwatch Showcase, THQ Nordics, Gamescom opening night as well. So if you're interested, because again, E3's not happening, right? So we will probably try to co-stream as many of these as we can here in the channel. I'm guessing we won't be able to do all of them because there will be some of these that are, well, they'll basically say we can't co-stream, and if we do, it would result in negative things happening to the channel, right? So, but all the ones that we're able to do, we'll hook it up, okay? And we'll try to watch as many of them as we can together. There's that link, and I'll pull up the other link I threw into chat earlier because we were talking about this. Between both of these articles, you should be able to find most of the showcases you're looking for. Most of them are in June. There's a few in July and August as well, but most of them are in like the second week of June there. So if you are interested in making sure you know which ones you want to participate in and watch, take a look at those links I just threw in chat, and we'll do our best to watch most of them here, okay? So, legendary Japanese game developer returns after 2 decades. Okay. Today we're talking to a legendary Japanese game designer who was on hiatus for a long time. In the late 1990s, Yoshitaka Murayama made a name for himself among a subset of video game fans by creating and directing Suikoden, a series of Japanese role-playing games that became beloved for their scope and depth. A catchy way to think of them is Game of Thrones meets Pokemon. But in 2002, as the third Suikoden game was finishing development, Murayama quit his job at the game publisher Konami and went off on his own. In the 2 decades that followed, he didn't work on many games of note, leaving fans to wonder what had become of him. Eventually, Konami abandoned the Suikoden franchise, perhaps believing the RPGs weren't lucrative enough. In the early 2010s, players started asking Murayama why not fund a new RPG on Kickstarter. In the summer of 2020, Murayama finally answered fans' wishes. He raised 481.6 million yen, around 4.5 million US at the time, from more than 46,000 backers with a Kickstarter for Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. I think we've actually seen this. Spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. It became the #1 video game on Kickstarter that year. Yeah, this is a screenshot of it. Yeah. Getting to the point was a long journey, Murayama told me in a recent interview. He said he only started seriously considering a Kickstarter after meeting up with some of his old collaborators, such as artist Junko Kawano, at a concert for Suikoden music. Murayama was also driven by the success of Nintendo's Octopath Traveler, which has sold more than 2.5 million copies. The audience for turn-based RPGs had been shrinking, Murayama said, but Octopath Traveler proved that there is a promising market for games like this. Yeah, I mean, how many of us love, like, I love turn-based RPGs, you know? But I definitely think we did see the industry pivot away from them for quite a while, yeah? But they're very nostalgic to me. I love turn-based RPGs. He said he was also inspired by an old friend and colleague, the game developer Koji Igarashi, who is known for producing the popular Castlevania series. Igarashi left Konami in 2014 and found success on Kickstarter with the game Bloodstained. Yes, look, guys, this individual, this is the developer of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, okay? That is the game that made me fall in love with Metroidvanias. And I actually just picked up Bloodstained. So in the near future, we are going to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Octopath Traveler is sweet, gamer. Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I haven't played it myself, but I've heard great things. Did you play all the way through it? So we're going to play Igarashi's Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and then we're going to play Bloodstained right after. So we can see the difference between, they're both Metroidvania games, right? but they're very similar as well. Without regard to the fact that Symphony of the Night was a PS1 game and Bloodstained was released in 2019, 2018. So probably a good, what, 15 years apart, probably something like that. Crowdfunding made it possible for several veteran game developers to revitalize games and genres that big publishers didn't see as lucrative. Like the Suikoden series that preceded it, Eiyuden Chronicle will be an epic role-playing game with a sprawling political story and a large cast of characters the players can recruit to join their army. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, right on, buddy. It will allow players to explore towns and dungeons as well as build their own base of operations. And Murayama said it will bring back one of Suikoden's fans' favorite activities, a cooking minigame in the style of Iron Chef. We love minigames, baby. But we need fishing as well, right? That's where it's at. To fund the rest of Eiyuden's development, Murayama partnered with Italian publisher 505 Games. We were just talking about them. In an interview, 505 Games founder Raffi Galante, I think that's probably how that's pronounced, Galante, called Suikoden a masterpiece. The proven quality of the team is the kind of thing we really like, he said. Last week, Murayama and 505 released a spin-off platformer game called Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. Reviews have been mixed, and I wasn't impressed by an early copy I played, largely because it's a drastically different type of game, promised as a companion game or prologue to the real Eiyuden Chronicle. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, designed as a bonus for Kickstarter backers, was made by a different team of people. The proper game, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, won't be out until 2023. We recently came across an article about this situation. Apparently, I think if I remember correctly, in Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, you'll be able to recruit characters you'll be able to also use in this game, if I remember correctly. I think that's the way it works. Now that he's back in the swing of things, Murayama
the way
said
people
he'd
work
be
is
open to
changing.
rejoining his
Not just
company.
where people work, but how and when people work. You know, people have other priorities.
It looked like it was already muted. What was that? Sorry. Start over here. I apologize. Please, dude, stop. I've got to get a better ad blocker. Pinky sent me one, man. Looking for it on your tabs? Yeah, I was like, what's happening? Open to rejoining his former company one day. Of course, you guys, that's funny. I'm sorry. I've got it. Pinky sent me what's supposed to be a better ad blocker than what I use right now, and I need one because of doing these news segments. So I need to go back and take a look. I just keep forgetting to grab it and try it out. Of course, if it's the right occasion, I would like to be involved with another Suikoden, he said. He also said he'd love to see the Suikoden series be remastered for modern platforms, although he doesn't have much clout out there. Still have friends at Konami, he said, casually at the bar or something. I can bring that topic up, but it's hard for me to make official suggestions. Murayama said that one of the main reasons he left Konami to go solo was because it was hard to be creative while working with large teams. An ironic twist for a man whose games revolve around assembling armies of hundreds and teaching them how to work together. During his years as a freelancer, Murayama got pleasure out of working on his own, but now he said he's rediscovered the joy of large-scale collaboration and is in a good mood. The game I'm creating now, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, will be a pretty special game. Murayama said, I'm enjoying creating this game, so please look forward to it. Cool. Well, we'll have to keep tabs, see how it's progressing. Like, again, that 100 Heroes is not coming out until 2023, so we've got a ways until it's going to hit us. But we'll keep track. All right. Battle passes have ruined multiplayer gaming for me. Let's see. Look, I mean, battle passes, we all know battle passes have become a very, very prevalent thing. Not in just like multiplayer games, but just online games in general. Yeah, it's passes have become very prevalent. I agree, Tinwin, very much. I agree very much. We're gonna see there's a battle pass, as it were, in the game we're playing today, Lost Ark. I'll show you as soon as we jump in there. Okay, yo, Tinwin. Well, it just depends on how it's done. It just depends on how it's done. And I don't think everybody feels that way. That's just this individual's, Wick, what's up, buddy? That's just this individual's experience. We'll see what they have to say about it, right? I don't think that, it just depends. It just depends. There is a battle pass in Lost Ark. I'll show you guys today. Tinwin, don't let me forget to bring up your video of the creation stuff in V Rising at the beginning of the gaming segment, okay? I can't tell you one off the top of my head. I just feel like there is a good and a bad way to do them, yeah. I'm just reading an article, Wick. Calm down, buddy. Hey, you just got here. I'm going to need you to calm down. Mods. I'm going to have to give Syek moderator, man, so he can start taking care. Yep. There you go. Get wrecked, Wick. I'm going to have to give Syek moderator so he can start taking care of you whenever you come in here just yelling at everybody, thinking you own the place, man. Well, how am I supposed to, say anything? It's first you said anything. Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling at everybody? Nightmaker, what's up, buddy? Yes, dude. You gotta quit yelling at everybody. You're being rude. Nightmaker, what's up, buddy? It's been a while. So, will Herd get done for perjury? I don't know, dude. I quit even, like, that's just such a, I don't know, man. It's too much drama for me. Do it. All right. Wick, calm down, dude. It's good to see everybody. Happy Saturday. I'll read the article. And Nightmaker, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. Too much drama for me, man. There's been some funny stuff happen in those proceedings, which I've seen some of, but for the most part, man, it's just too much drama for me. I think there are lots of different reasons that people play video games, but I think for the majority, it's to relax. Or if not relax exactly, then to do something that is completely unconnected to the real world. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is for us, right? Explore a strange virtual location, battle with friends in wars where no one is actually hurt, or solve a good puzzle or experience an engrossing story. Games can be difficult and challenging, but the one thing they shouldn't feel like is hard work. Which is why I don't get battle passes. Look, that's not the only way that these things are turning into hard work, right? Shut your pie hole. Thanks, dude. Wait, do you want me to read this, or do you want me to shut my pie hole? See, now you're contradicting yourself, man. I don't know what to do for you. I don't know how to make you happy. Why, you're so mad that it's Saturday, you got to go to work. I'm sorry, dude. It's not my fault, you know? It's not my fault. It's not just things like a battle pass that can make games feel like work, kind of, right? We talked about a lot of this recently with chaos, yeah. We talked a lot. Police cam footage. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff. It's not just the police cam footage. There's been all kinds of things that have come up in there. Like her talking about the makeup she used or whatever. A specific makeup that she used when that makeup hadn't even been released at that time. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Her lawyers are terrible. It's an absolute just insane situation. Yeah. Been taking a break? Yeah. Yeah, the bruise kit. Yeah, the bruise kit. Yeah. You know, I mean, I have to say, I was, especially when I was younger, I was always a big Johnny Depp fan because I loved the quirky kind of movies he did and everything, you know? And he always took those roles that were a bit weird, and I liked that. And then, I mean, I always knew that he was doing a lot of good stuff, like going to hospitals dressed up as Jack Sparrow, and, you know, just, he always seemed like a decent dude. Maybe a bit skewed because that's what Hollywood does to some people, right? But, yeah, should have just had somebody punch her. I wouldn't have, I mean, as crazy as she seems, man, I wouldn't put it past her, you know? But I'm glad to see this whole thing kind of come out and show that what the real situation is, you know? I'll get back into this. Again, there are ways. That's what video games are for us, right? Video games have always been a thing for us that help us to relax, have some fun, right? That's what the premise of video games are for most of us, anyways. And whenever you start incorporating things like play to earn, certain battle passes, not always, right? But there are certain things. He was a drunk. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Night. Yeah, I mean I'll keep that out because the rules of the chat and stuff. But uh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? People need to be very careful about accusations and everything because you never actually know the entire story unless the entire story comes out, right? So it's hard for people not to pass judgment immediately, yeah. But it's one of those things where I would say we need to be a bit more hesitant about passing judgment until we get the entire story of situations such as that one, yeah. Uh, but yeah, Nightmaker. Yeah, I agree. I know that you put an asterisk in there, but it's still, you know, again, kind of against the rules for us. So, but yeah, I agree. Um, things done right can be incorporated into games very well. Things done wrong can make a game feel really bad, right? That's just the way it goes. Um, Games can be difficult and challenging, yeah. Actually, one of the things that's great about Elden Ring is that it doesn't require level grinding as many role-playing games do. It's, shut your mouth. It is beneficial to grind, that is, purposefully fight mid-level enemies that are no real threat in order to get experience points. But it's never really required, and even when you could argue it is, breaking away to scour the open world is usually a welcome relief from whatever you're stuck on. Yeah. 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 Band psych. Yo, Mr. Overthinker, cool, man. What are you eating, dude? You can't just say, I got food and not talk to us about what you're eating, man. That's against the rules, by the way. If for anybody that's hanging out, if you're going to talk about food, you have to tell us what you're eating. That's a chat rule. Unwritten, but most of us know that here. Instant ramen? Let's go, dude. I love some instant ramen. I was eating some the other day, man. Never really a requirement. Even when you could argue it is, breaking away to scour the open world is usually a welcome relief from whatever you're stuck on. Battle passes, though, are all about the grind. They started off with Fortnite and have become one of the number one tools for publishers to tempt you to play often. Not only every day, but several hours a day, rather than just playing for the sake of it. Because it's fun, you're constantly cajoled to earn a certain amount of experience or in-game currency while completing time-limited missions and challenges. It's not enough anymore that you play all the time. You got to play in a specific way and before a timer runs out. Battle passes last a couple of months, and at least unless you're playing very regularly, it's hard to unlock everything before the end. This is the difference, I think, between doing it in a good way and a bad way, okay? Doing a battle pass, setting up a battle pass in a way to where you're going to unlock most of the stuff if you just play the game the way you normally do, rather than trying to skew people into playing the game the way they want you to play it. To achieve those certain goals, doing it in a very general way where you can play the game the way you want to play the game and still unlock most of the stuff, I think that's the way that it's a good way to incorporate battle passes and things like that, right? But there's definitely a bad way to do it that if you don't play the game enough to level up the battle pass, why would you care enough about? You probably wouldn't, would you? I think that's what they're trying to get at here. I think it's unfair for DLCs to go on sale for less than $10. My bank account can't keep up with all these games. I mean, that's another thing. If you're not having fun playing the game, yo, Katari, what's up, buddy? If you're not having fun playing the game, don't play it, right? If you feel like them incorporating things like a battle pass is taking away from your experience of playing the game, don't play it. That's the way I feel about that situation. Well, yeah, and that's I don't think you would, Wick. I don't think most people. I think it's a way to entice people to play more. If you, that's what they're getting at. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think your statement there, Wick, is that it's a way to try to entice people to play more. Yeah, if they know they can get free things by playing the game, that it's a way to entice people to play the game more, right? Um, yeah, almost all I mean, all games are like battle passes are just something to draw in more players to play longer. I think that's the premise, dude. Totally. But yeah, you can play the game without the battle pass. And look, here's the thing. Most of the time, battle passes nowadays, just like I'll show in Lost Ark right now, when we get to the gaming segment, most battle pass type situations that are incorporated into games, they have different levels, right? Where the first level of it, you get an amount of stuff for free the more you play. Then you can buy into the next level, and you get a bit better things for each level you unlock, but it costs a little bit, right? Yeah, and that's the way Lost Arks is, right? It's just, I don't see anything wrong with most of the battle passes I've seen are fine, right? And if you like the game, play it. I would say don't worry about the battle pass. I feel like, and that's what I was worried about with this article, right? Is like, I don't necessarily agree with this statement. I don't think battle passes have ruined really any game that I play for me, and I know battle passes have been put into a lot of the games I've played, right? Yeah, absolutely, Wick. I agree. Yeah, I do think it's an implementation by a lot of devs to try to keep people playing the game longer, to try to unlock stuff or pull in other players to get free things, right? But as far as ruining a game, I don't necessarily agree. I think they've been done in bad ways before, right? But the games that I've played, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with the battle passes I've seen, yeah? It gives you the option to get free things. It gives you the option, if you want to pay a little bit to get a little bit extra, you can do that, right? I mean, here's the other thing. I'll give you a perfect example. I used to play a decent amount of Rocket League back in the day, and they have a battle pass kind of thing, right? A season pass stuff. What they've done with that one, full MMO of Marvel Universe, like in early 2000. Oh, yeah. There's been rumor mill of them creating a new one, but I haven't seen anything substantial as of recent night, yeah. Rocket League actually makes it to where if you hit all the main levels of the pass, you get enough of the tokens or currency or whatever just by completing the battle pass to buy the next seasons without having to pay money, you know? So for them, it's just a way to keep people playing the game. And if you play the game a lot, you just get a lot of free stuff and skins, and the initial purchase there is going to happen, which I don't think was very much, but you actually get that currency back to buy the next seasons as well. So you never have to pay again if you don't want to. There are very good ways to do it. I'm still going to see what this individual has to say. Battle passes, though, are all about the grind. They start off with Fortnite. Started off with Fortnite, I think. I don't think battle passes started with Fortnite. Hold on, man. Dota 2. Dota 2. How is an individual going to write an article like this and not actually even just do a quick search for the first game to utilize a battle pass and then make a statement like that? That's terrible. What kind of writer are you, man? Anyways, it literally took me 5 seconds to research that. Insane. You know, another game kind of similar to that whole Marvel universe thing, the MMO, the Marvel stuff. Nopers, tisk, 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 right? Right. You're talking about that satire one, aren't you, Wick? News, yes. The it was heroes versus villains, wasn't that it? We've talked about it before. Back in the early 2000s, or what? It was like mid to late 2000s. Heroes versus villains, wasn't that it? It was all about like creating your own hero as MMO. It was really cool, man. It was really cool. Become one of the number one tools for publishers to tempt you to play often, not only every day, but several hours a day, rather than just playing for the sake of it because it's fun. You're constantly cajoled into earning a certain amount of experience or in-game currency while completing time-limited missions and challenges. I don't know what game you're playing. City of Heroes, there it is. Yeah, City of Heroes, Tinwin. Yeah. That was the one. Yeah, right there. Thanks, buddy. It's not enough anymore that you play all the time. You got to play in a specific way and before a timer runs out. Battle passes last a couple of months, and unless you're playing very regularly, it's very hard to unlock everything before the end. Okay. If you're not playing the game regularly, though, then why do you care? You don't usually have to pay for battle passes either. I disagree. This individual says you usually have to pay for battle passes too. So apart from general fear of missing out, you've also got the idea of not wanting to have wasted your money. Again, they quite often have tiers, and companies know what they're doing with all this. They hire actual psychologists, not game designers, to create these things and work out how they can keep people glued to the screen, you know, other than making a neat game they'd like to play. As usual, it's kids and the easily influenced who suffer the most as they feel they must buy every battle pass and unlock every item, even if they don't care that much about them or even use them in game. I disagree with this. If somebody is getting suckered, if somebody feels like they need to buy everything in a game, there's something wrong there. I feel like this individual is that they're talking about themselves. Who is this? Unlocking things is fun. I used to enjoy it when there was something you did for free. I'm not looking to spoil anyone's fun, but it upsets me to think that the main reason people play games now, and the thing developers are most concerned about, is the rewards, not the experience itself. Seems backwards to me. I'm beginning to wish battle passes had never been invented. They're certainly having the opposite effect on me, in that instead of wanting to play these games more than usual, it's just making me want to avoid them completely and play something for the gameplay, not the cosmetic bling and hollow sense of achievement. Why are you not doing that anyways, though? Yeah, gambling. It absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Gambling is really where it comes into effect with like gotcha games and stuff. We've talked about that quite often too. I feel like I disagree with much of what's been said in here. Um, by reader Birdie, I think it makes me feel like this individual has some issues. Are there probably some games that have a bad way of incorporating battle passes or season passes and stuff? Yeah, for sure. Most of the ones I've seen, though, are done in a fairly nice way for anybody that plays the game as kind of casual. You can just, like, I only play Lost Ark on the weekends, really. I log in there most of the time during the week, and I take about 30 minutes to just check on the guild, do stuff like that, but I'm doing a pretty good job of unlocking most of the battle pass, the free battle pass stuff, just by being on there on the weekends, you know? Yeah. Okay. Let's. All right, Knight. So this is the thing. Again, might be weird to you. People pay money to buy stuff in Candy Crush, but to each their own, right? And here's the thing: there are a lot of people. What did we come across? Somebody spent $15K in Lost Ark, $15,000 in Lost Ark to hit the max item cap level, right? I'm not gonna do that. There's no way, right? I feel like that's a bit crazy. Yeah. I mean, look, video gaming. There's addiction. There's addictions everywhere, right? Yeah, gambling, spending money on whatever, shopaholic. Yeah, absolutely. drugs. There's addiction everywhere. The thing is, people, I've talked about this a lot too. It's about consuming the things in life in moderation, right? Not letting it affect your life in a negative way. And people will look at me and say, you sit here for 8 hours a day playing video games. I do. But I also take time to make sure that I'm taking care of all the responsibilities in my life as well, right? That's the thing. Whatever you're into, whatever you're going to do, who am I to tell you do or don't, right? It's your life. But I will stress the fact that being able to incorporate things in moderation is a very useful tool for your life, right? Now, let's hold up and not try to stereotype and call people weird or other names or whatever for spending money in whatever, you know, they are enjoying, okay? That's one of the things that I don't want us to be doing in this community, right? Just because it's not your jam necessarily doesn't mean it's wrong, okay? We're different. As people, we're different. We're going to have different views and beliefs in the way that we handle our lives and the things that we enjoy. We don't all enjoy the same game, right? That's the way it is. But referring to somebody as being weird for spending money in a game like Candy Crush, let's don't do that. Okay? That's not what this community is about. Can there be addictions in gaming in general and the gimmicks that get put in them, the gotcha stuff? Absolutely. And I think there's a good way to handle that kind of thing. But this community is not about calling people names for the things they enjoy necessarily, okay? So let's stay away from doing that kind of thing. Spent my Xbox reward points on the new Stellaris expansion pack, over 30k points. Wow. Who was playing Stellaris recently? Was it Syke? I think Syke was playing Stellaris recently. And look, addictions can be brutal, right? And what we need to do is not judge people for addictions, but have compassion for the fact that they have addictions, right? Tim, when you have everything except the newest, and I think that's what Nightmaker was just saying, that got the new one, right? I haven't even played Stellaris, but I've heard great things. Again, I can't stress this enough. Addiction is terrible. There are endless ways to be addicted in this life, in this world, and wide-ranging addictions all across the board. Addiction can be a very, very terrible thing, and there are varying levels of it. It doesn't just affect the person that's addicted. It can affect the people greatly that are part of that individual's life, right? Nightmaker, me too. Me too, buddy. And what I would say is do your very best not to judge people for their addictions, but have a bit of compassion in trying to understand that it's not necessarily something that is easy for them to obviously manage, right? And what we need to do is take a look at how we can better help people that suffer from addiction, whatever that addiction may be, right? As a world of people having compassion and trying to find ways to help people is what we should be doing, not judging people. Yeah, this article though, I disagree with much of it. We'll move on. Here we go. Rockstar Games may be working on 2 new Red Dead Redemption titles. US-based video game maker Rockstar Games might be planning something new for the popular open-world game Red Dead Redemption as the franchise approaches its 12th anniversary. The latest installment from the franchise, RDR2, has been a great hit among both fans and critics alike. However, the online version of the same game still seems... Bro, what just happened? Did I accidentally click on something? Hold on. That was a bit weird. That was a bit weird. Um, I'm not going back to that site. I didn't like that. All right, here we go. We'll read this one. We'll read this one. Red Dead Redemption 3 sequel confirmed, but Rockstar Games has a catch. Yeah, that was a bit sketch. Yeah, that was a bit sketch. Night. Yep, exactly. Here's the thing. I hit on this earlier when we found this article. Red Dead Redemption 2, RDR2 Online, has caught a lot of flack from their community, specifically in regard to the fact that they never get any kind of substantial, like, updated content or anything for the game, whereas Grand Theft Auto constantly gets new stuff, right? And there are a lot of people that love RDR Online. Yes. 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 Yes, Tinwin. And in regards to that, that's why there are so many unions popping up everywhere in the video game industry, right? We see it all the time right now, and rightfully so. Red Dead Redemption 3 sequel confirmed, but Rockstar Games has a catch regarding the third game. RDR3, the sequel to the popular and award-winning game franchise, was indirectly confirmed by Rockstar Games in a recent interview, something that gives an insight to its next release. The game would still be developed and published by Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive, the team behind the first two successful games. Comic Book reports that RDR3, or the sequel game to the franchise, is coming, and this is because of an interview from Rockstar Games that seemingly confirmed the availability of the next game. It was said that Take-Two Interactive's CEO Strauss Zelnick has said in an interview that the game of Red Dead Redemption would be a franchise that never expires. The words of Zelnick have greatly focused on the franchise that never ends, something that has suggested there would be an upcoming game coming for Red Dead Redemption as the studio aims to keep it going. Zelnick said that another franchise would be resembling this, and it is the popular NBA 2K series that updates the popular basketball game. What's the catch? There's a catch on the news regarding the RDR3, or the sequel game. The sequel's release date remains unknown to the public, and it was not mentioned by Zelnick in his statements that confirmed the development of the games. What this means is that there might be a case where RDR would come in the following years, or after several years or more. Timeline remains unknown and was not revealed by the CEO, making it a guessing game for fans. Okay. Rockstar Games and its anticipated games. Oh, is it Overthinker? Yeah. I thought it had always kind of been there. I just, I mean, it never really got to the point that, never got to the point that, like, GTA 5 did, right? You mean, that this company is based in, Scotland? Is that what you're saying, Nightmaker? Yeah. Well, I just mean we've seen a lot of across the board. I wasn't saying specifically that this company was unionizing or anything, but we've seen a lot of gaming companies start unionizing. The workers are unionizing because across the board, they haven't had the greatest working conditions. That's starting to come to light very prevalently across the industry. Are you Overthinker? Right on, man. Right, I know a lot of people loved it. Yeah, yep. Rockstar Games has been a massive topic in the gaming industry today. This is because the company has been long awaited for game titles that never came despite the fans and gamers' demand for it. One example would be the much awaited sequel to the Grand Theft Auto franchise, GTA 6, that follows the 2013 game that is still the focus now. Rockstar Games has a lot of anticipated games now. Because the company has been in demand for its titles that focus on sandboxes and role-playing game titles, that have a notable storyline. This also comes from the critically acclaimed RDR2 that was released in 2018, the latest release of Rockstar in recent years. What came from Rockstar Games is a GTA trilogy remaster instead of the many titles expected of them, and even a popular one's sequel got trashed or canceled even before it was confirmed. Rockstar is expected of a heavy burden in the present. This is because the company has these successful titles that will still miss out on its release despite the demands of fans. Oh, right on. Yeah, I have no idea. I would have to look into it. I can't remember where they are located at currently. I'm gonna do this Netflix one first, then we'll end up with our Surge article. All right, let's pull this up. We've already talked a lot about Netflix, but this is a more recent article. So it might have a bit more updated news. Shares of leading video streamer Netflix sunk another 7% on Wednesday in what was another ugly day for Wall Street. It's hard to believe this former market darling has lost nearly 75% from its peak, just shy of $701 per share. The lockdown beneficiary has now surrendered its pandemic gains and then some. At a fresh 5-year low, the former FAANG growth stock now trades at a modest 16.6 times trailing earnings. That's not just cheap. It's indicative of a potential value trap. The company has clocked in 2 straight quarters of weakness. It looks to be the start of a trend. The recent slew of subscription cancellations could be the start of a wave. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I heard a little bit about that. Yeah. Undoubtedly, competition in the SVOD streaming video on demand market has been picking up steadily over the course of many years. Add the pandemic pull forward in demand, inflation's impact, and the recession risk in the equation. It's been the perfect storm for Netflix. The real question on investors' minds is whether the selling has been overdone. Turning to Wall Street, it's apparent that analysts view the crash in Netflix's stock as overblown. Does the market have Netflix stock wrong? Or does the recent slip in subscriber numbers mark the beginning of something far worse? Despite all the negatives and the potential for things to get even worse, I remain bullish on Netflix. The multiple is unprecedentedly low, and like it or not, Netflix remains a leader in its space, even as rivals look to steal its lunch. Look, there's no doubt, like, Netflix was the streaming service, right? And that, as far as streaming services go, that market is really populated now, right? I mean, there are all kinds of different streaming services. So I have to say, I'm not surprised to see that, like, Netflix's subscriber base has dwindled. There's just so many options now, right? Further, I think there are reasons to give CEO Reed Hastings the benefit of the doubt as he pivots his firm towards the realm of video gaming. With a plan to have around 50 video games under the Netflix umbrella by end of year, the value proposition is bound to improve. Xbox should get their streaming utility. Should have kept. Oh. I never even really saw anything from that. Was it decent? You mean like their movie video streaming? I don't even really know much about it. How long ago was that? I still think Netflix is dipping a toe into the shallow end of the gaming waters when it needs to take a dive into the deep end to regain the confidence of investors amid tumbling subscriber numbers. I think what Netflix is doing here, to be honest, they've already acquired a couple of different game devs. Boss Fight being, I think, the latest one. Oh, you mean like their oh, dude, what was it called? It floundered, dude. They couldn't. It was just leaking money. That platform, from everything I remember that platform, Mixer. It was Mixer. Everything I remember about that platform was that it was just absolutely horrible. They thought they were going to be able to pull a move in signing popular streamers over on very lucrative contracts, and it just absolutely blew up on them. Nobody was accessing. I mean, it was just a sieve. It was just leaking money. It obviously did not make sense for them to maintain it. Microsoft is not a small company, right? I mean, if they felt like it was worth maintaining, I think they would have maintained it. But Mixer was just nothing. They were getting no viewer base. They paid a ton of money to set up the site internally, as well as a ton of money to very popular streamers to contract them over, and it lost. Man, it just lost. It was such a loss. They had to just be done with it. Video games unlikely to stop subscriber bleed. Netflix is unlikely to take anything away from its video content spending. The video streaming wars are ongoing and content will remain king. Though Netflix may suffer from the occasional content drought, we all want the next Squid Game caliber binge-worthy TV series. A deep roster of video games could help deter customers from hitting that cancel subscription button. Look, the new season of Stranger Things is coming too, and we might see an uptick for them because of that. The thing is, in regards to this statement here, them dipping a toe in the shallow end of gaming waters, they are building their mobile games up first, I think, to see how this venture goes. And then I think they're probably going to pivot into more like PC console stuff. They've got the app to run the games out of. It's kind of a ploy to get more subscribers in if their games end up being good on mobile. But I don't think it's I think it's not as much of a ploy to get subscribers as it is just to test and see how they can do as a game dev slash publisher in the first place. And then they're probably going to dive more in the console PC kind of gaming environment. Right. Right. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? That's the thing, and it's like if you keep producing content that people want to see, your subscriber base will stay up. And it's the same exact concept, gamer, behind like online games, right? You want to maintain a player base, you'll keep coming out with content that keeps them playing the game, right? Um, if you don't continue to come out with content that is enjoyable and keeps people playing the game will die. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing with a subscriber, like just a movie TV show subscription. Yeah, same concept basically. Undoubtedly, Netflix isn't nearly as sticky in a more competitive environment. While high inflation and anticipation of a recession may be to blame for the recent slide in subscribers, I do think that Netflix needs to improve upon the stickiness factor. That's another thing. I mean, we've seen comparison right behind what Netflix's prices have done over the past 5-6 years compared to what they keep raising prices, right? That's probably partially some of the blame for the subscription going away. They keep raising prices on their subscription service, whereas a lot of these other services are not. Yeah, I would say probably has something to do with it, at least a little bit. Prior pieces, I highlighted the entertainment service heavily favored the bundlers. Thanks to big tech firms, video streaming is just one component of a broader bundle. Netflix chief Reed Hastings likely recognizes this. That's a significant reason why he's taking video games so seriously. Unfortunately, Netflix needs to really open its wallet if its gaming business is to help it reverse the declining trend in subscribers. Agreed. Is it going... Okay, so that's, again, they're about to announce. They are about to announce like Stranger Things new season coming, and that's been in the works for a while. That's a very loved series, right? And highly anticipated new season. So that might be part of it. I don't know. I don't know why it would necessarily be trending up in June. That could be part, though. I know they're announcing Stranger Things new series in June in their showcase. Netflix is behind in the gaming race. Hard to imagine the firm will have the absolute best gaming service with Xbox Game Pass out there. Yep. Though mobile games are a decent start, Netflix likely needs to acquire a multi-billion-dollar video game maker if it's to live up to Hastings' ambitions. Indeed, the problem is not the technology to stream video games. There is now a wide range of game streaming platforms out there. Yep. Rather, it's the caliber of content on such platforms. Unless Netflix acquires a gaming behemoth, it's hard to imagine a world where Netflix can catch up in the video game scene. Yep. For now, I'm skeptical as to whether games can save the stock. I think we all feel that way. Company will need to spend a lot of money, and that's money that could have gone towards the production of binge-worthy series. Truth. Netflix is going to try to make freeloading subscribers pay up. On paper, such efforts could help alleviate recent pressures. However, I don't think such moves will leave a very good taste in the mouths of its millions of freeloading users, some of which may not have the ability to pay for another subscription. For now, I view the password sharing crackdown as an effort that will not do anything to sustainably reverse subscriber trends. At the end of the day, Netflix needs to offer its consumers more to get them to stick around instead of looking for short-term fixes. Yeah. Yep, that's about it. Kind of a lot of what we already knew, right? This is the last article I have pulled up for the day for the gaming news segment, okay? Which is why System of a Down Serge Tankian doesn't play video games anymore, all right? If anybody hanging out has any other news that I didn't catch in our search this morning that is pertinent for us in the gaming industry, please let me know. That way I can take a look at it before we end the news segment after I finish this article, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Game Pass is a pretty good subscription service, but again, I mean, it's one of those things, if you don't feel like you're getting enough game time out of paying what you pay for it, it's probably not worth. I don't know. It's just each individual is going to feel a bit different about that, right? Okay. So Serge of System of a Down admits that he is an addict. In an exclusive conversation with Todd Fuchs, please, dude, I gotta check out that other ad blocker. In an exclusive conversation with Todd Fuchs, host of Loudwire Weekends, he says that his habit was impacting his health. He was worried that it might ruin his music career. He said he had to put down the PlayStation twice. Addiction, man. You know? Like Pacific Rim series. He-Man series, yeah. Yeah, they have some good content in their lineup, but it does feel bad that they just kept raising prices, you know? Yep. Tankian zoomed in to talk about his collaboration on original music for a new game, Metal Hellsing. Oh, dude! Yeah. Yeah, yo, System of a Down is doing Metal Hellsinger music. or Surge is, at least. Surge is. Again, if you're not familiar, Surge is the one of the singers of System of a Down. And Metal Hellsinger is a new FPS rhythm-based shooter coming out. And many of us in the community are fans of, like, BPM, bullets per minute. If you've never played bullets per minute, amazing game. FPS, rhythm-based, roguelite game, amazing music and everything. So this is kind of in the same realm as BPM. And it looks like Surge is helping with the music on it. That's very cool. shared that in his younger days, he used to play a lot. In my early 20s, I was a gamer. I used to have a PlayStation and all that stuff. Playing way too many NBA Jam games, and my fingers got really messed up. This is before I started touring with System of a Down. At one point, I realized this is getting really addictive. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm hurting my hands, and I need my hands to play, etc., so I stopped gaming. Years later, there's a company that wanted me to do some music for a video game, and I was like, oh, that's great. But then I realized I don't have a console. I was embarrassed, so they sent me a console and some games. What do you think happened? I was up till like 10 p.m. in bed, going crazy, and again, getting addicted to it. So I got rid of it again. I'm not doing video games now, but I love doing music for them. Yeah, we recently went over all the games getting added in. There's like, that's what Game Pass does, right? We hit on those a lot in the news segments, Nightmaker. Yeah, but thanks for letting everybody know. Yep. Tankian's last video game project involved lending locals to an original song for a first-person shooter with a metal twist. In Metal Hellsinger, the player's connection to the music is key. As the game site explains, your ability to shoot on the beat will enhance your gameplay experience. The more in sync you are with the rhythm, the more intense the music will become, and the more destruction you will cause. Defeat the demon hordes with a skull-clad blade or a wide range of murderous guns. That's one thing that's different about this game, says Tankian. You got to be really be a part of the song and the rhythm to gain the points. And the song I cut the vocals for, it's really incredible, really fast, really heavy, very interesting, very progressive. That's why I decided to join and be a part of this. I love the song. It's 7 minutes, and it takes you on this crazy journey. Very fast, very rhythmical. So your fingers, you will probably lose some ligaments. So Metal Hellsinger so far features music from who's who of the metal community as well. Singers on the soundtrack include Alyssa White-Gluz of Arch Enemy, Matt Heafy of Trivium, Michael Stanny of Dark Tranquility, Randy Blythe of Lamb of God, and more. There isn't a specific release date for the game yet, but you can check here for the latest information. Be sure to check out the game trailer below. He also touched on his myriad of work. Tankian also touched on his myriad of work outside of System of a Down. Not only music for games, but also scoring movies. He explains that he got into it because his creative outlay was so much more than just the band. I needed to find a home for some of these stylings that I have. Started out with the idea to find another place for my music, but it's turned into the challenge of figuring out the tone of a film. I think it's a unique thing. I really, really enjoy it. One thing I've always wanted to do in my life was make a completely different record each time I make it. And with soundtracks, I've literally had my dream come true. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, this looks like a pretty neat game. We're already aware of this in the community. Yeah, anticipating this title, and it's cool that they've got so many cool musicians, known musicians, being a part of the music. Yeah. All right. Doesn't look like there's anything else. Yeah. Great news segment. Again, I hope everybody's weekend is going very well. Happy Saturday, everybody. We will be moving on to Lost Ark. Yeah. And before we start up Lost Ark, we'll take a look at some of our buddy Tinwin's. He's got a quick video of some of the stuff he's done in V Rising. We're kind of excited about that game as well. So we'll take a look at that right before we get into Lost Ark. But I appreciate everybody being here. You all are amazing, helping to create such an amazing community here and helping me to have such a great time doing what I love to do already, which is, you know, stay up to date with the gaming industry and just have a good time playing video games. So thank you all very much. If you are not moving on to our Lost Ark segment, or if you are viewing this new segment as a VOD later on YouTube, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. If you are viewing it as a VOD, do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and maybe leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of the articles and topics that we went over during the news segment today, okay? Other than that, we're going to move on. Thank you so much for being here and viewing the content. You're all amazing. We will see you tomorrow for Sunday, May 22nd edition of Video Gaming News. All right?